Hello. Think we got everybody in here?
Hopefully.
Alex? Jason?
Yes.
John?
Can you hear me?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hello, hello.
John drank his tea. That's good. Phil?
And later, report again. Over. This is gold set. What was Porkins? Gold 6?
Red 2, I think.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember. But
I
he
used to
smelled good
play
when
the
burned.
Snap.
He earned the Obi-Wan Kenobi Award posthumous.
Many Porkins were sacrificed that day.
I feel bad for the guys in the Y-Wings, because those guys were pretty much screwed from the get-go.
I keep thinking about that scene where, like, they said many Mon Calamaris died to get this information.
Many Bothans died.
There you go, yeah, Bothans.
Bothans.
Mon Mothma.
What a stupid name for him.
Well, I mean, really, it's just all syllables.
That's why she didn't get her own meme like Admiral Akbar.
Living trap! He says it like he figured it out, too, right?
In case you didn't notice from all the ships. I had to announce it to everybody.
Oh, they could have thought it was a surprise party for the crew.
Look at the laser show they're putting on!
Exactly.
Sir, those disco beams are getting mighty hot. Is Rick going to be able to join us this one?
Rick he wanted to really bad, but he has some family stuff that came up last minute. So he apologized, and he let me know ahead of time, but yeah, real life strikes again.
Damn that
real
real life.
It stinks. We only have a couple sessions left, because he's not going to be able to...
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for Jason and Rick. I was like, well, you want to play on the end of a campaign that's dying?
Yeah. That's rough, yeah.
No, it's fine.
The groove,
It's perfect, actually, because I actually game with my, in-person group on Saturdays, so I'm kind of pushing the amount of gaming I can do in one day. I know that sounds blasphemous, but...
Yeah.
Right when I finish with you guys, I have to jet over to meet with my normal group, my in-person group. So it's kind of like I could only do this for a short time on this schedule anyway.
That's good. I guess it works out then.
Yeah, it works out. It works out perfect.
So this is probably going to be the next to last session. That's easy, buddy. Hopefully, I'll be here for the next one. We'll see how my real life situation goes.
Wait, real quick. World of Darkness online dice roller link right now, right there at the bottom.
Oh, thank goodness. I was thinking you might have forgotten.
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
All right, I'm going to be trying to hit the mute button around my son singing and talking, but we'll see how that goes.
Are you able to record, Tim?
It looks like I'm able to record. It said recording started when I started the call, so.
Okay, well, I got my recording started, so just in case, we're both now covered.
Okay, yay, backups, just in case computers blow up and die. Yay.
Excellent.
Is there anything that anybody wanted to talk about or anything before we started? We're pretty much going to start... I believe, let's see here, Loris had already gone over in the shuttle, and the ship's there, but is there anything that we need to talk about before we go?
I had this thought right before I got up from bed this morning, and that was that we have the AI. ISHO copied its AI onto the shuttle, and then we had the AI whisper thing happen. But I don't know if Bryce was able to purge the one in the shuttle, or if it's still there. So now I have the horrible thought that when he gets over there, he'll be dead.
Or Loris might never get there. That's kind of cool.
Just throwing that out there.
Sounds fun.
Oh boy.
Note to self: Loris blows up. No.
Oh no.
No, we'll see what happens.
It's our only shuttle.
Well, you guys have like 10 vehicles in the. Well, you have what, an L's fighter that's kind of beat up.
Yeah, we have a shuttle and a Nels vehicle. That's
Okay.
it.
So yeah, Theo just has to
We've
climb.
got a lot of escape pods.
Yeah, you just use some escape pods and probably
The probes are pretty large. We could probably just climb inside that.
just ride on top of it and wave your cowboy hat.
There's gonna be a space taxi. Space taxi we can call.
That sounds good. Anybody else with any thoughts or anything today? The future is wide open.
I don't know. Should we jump ahead a little bit, or do you want to continue right from?
We can have you guys already be on the station if you want, or
That could be an interesting decision for Bryce.
What's an interesting decision?
Oh
Yeah, we can. That's right, because Bryce has. Yeah, I got a timer on Bryce actually.
Well, it's up to you guys.
No, I guess we'll just continue. I didn't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you. Do you want to role play through heading over there, or we just want to skip ahead to being on the station? We can do that too.
No, we have to. No. I hope we don't lose Bryce, but no, I'd rather see that role played out. I don't want to just let's start at the space station. Bryce is dead. Oh, what happened? I don't know. God damn it.
All right.
On the bright side, you have power to the cafeteria.
That actually sounds like a pretty fun place to start. How about we start with Bryce in the powered down lounge as he's looking out and he sees the light of the rift and the light of the sun is percolating out here, so you have a mixed effect of light sources, as well as the space station itself. It's kind of a cobbled together looking thing. It looks like it's attached to some small asteroid. It looks like there's some mining operation that's going on. You see that there's this enormous tree that is sort of encapsulated in this, you think about a foot or two away from the actual trunk and the branches. The work that would go into that to literally encapsulate a tree that is probably about 45 to 50 feet tall and wide at the top. It just branches out this enormous tree. Is kind of daunting. Who would have spent that time to encapsulate that in glass? But that's the case, and it seems to be spinning sort of off of the station. You're guessing it probably goes into providing oxygen, but that wouldn't be the only source of oxygen. There's probably some algae, hydroponics sort of things also on the space station. But that's something that is very prevalent and easy to see right off the bat. It's sort of free floating. It is attached with hoses and pipes, but they seem to be able to twist and spin as the tree spins. Okay, so you'll see the station and you're looking out at it, and let's start with Bryce.
It's kind of an enticing vista, and one that on other days he would be dearly tempted to explore and see if they have, what sort of archives they might have on this station, since the data net has been thrown into some degree of disarray, since she started messing up the solar system. But Bryce is still haunted by the notion of what a duplicate of him became given more time. And so he's continuing to, as he gazes out at this large tree, loop in bits of copper and other wiring that he's splayed open from this power conduit. through his microcomputer and sort of gently shoving bits of it into where the flesh port would lie on his neck. He's just sort of sitting there with the glow from the window and the glow from the data pad next to him.
One thing catches Bryce's eye as he's looking out there. Every once in a while there's a ripple, and you can tell that there's lots of spaceships out there that have been cloaked. You have no idea what they are, who they are, what their ships look like. It's just the sort of bending of the view. Light of stars behind it changes. Just little telltale signs that there are ships out there that are docked.
But cloaked?
Yes, docked and cloaked. You know that there's ships there, and you know that they're cloaked because you can just see the bending, the ripple. They don't seem like they're perfected cloaking engines, and just something you notice.
But it seems like whoever runs the station likely knows they're there.
You guess so.
Okay.
All right, so Bryce is up front. Let's see here. Where's everybody else at? Where's the captain at?
Longer after finishing his conversation with Shung, went back to his room and laid out his a mat and just spent time meditating, staring at his palms, very similar to the way he did when he was in the New Realm. And he's just waiting for either A, something to go on, or the timer to go off for Bryce.
And how about Thea?
With tears still streaming down his face, he takes Anel's body and hurries it quickly down to the med bay, where he places it in a stasis containment, which will preserve her body and prevent any more cellular degradation. And before he does that, he will take this hypostem that boosts cellular growth and preservation and injects it into her. Then afterwards, he'll set up several backup batteries on that stasis unit. So just in case the power were to go out, it will always be running. He'll set up like 2 batteries for that. So a backup for the backup. Then he'll sit there with the kids for a little bit, and he'll have begin to they'll just kind of sit there and hold them, kind of comfort them. They probably wouldn't be talking or anything like that. And so he'll sit there and kind of just stare at some of the implants that he has taken out of Anel, and then well, from there he'll kind of just he'll look like he's in deep thought. He'll still be holding the kids and just thinking in deep thought, really. He'll still have somewhat tears running down his face.
You'll see your son who'll move up to where his mother is and just put his hands against it. And he closes his eyes.
He'll walk over towards him and just kind of kneel down and kind of put his hand around his shoulder.
He just looks up at you and just buries himself in your chest, gives you a hug.
You two need to know something, all right? I need you all to listen. This is going to hurt for a long time. But eventually, it won't hurt so much. The important thing is that you don't forget and you remember all the good times you had. All right?
I remember, Dad.
Good.
I can't help but wonder where you were, though.
He'll kind of lean down.
He sort of pushes himself away from you and looks at you. He folds his arms against his chest.
Walton, the ship was under attack by these nanites.
We were out there for so long, Dad. So long. We were out there forever.
Walton, those things ended up getting inside of me, and they put me under. I ended up getting transported into new realms. I didn't even know it at the time. Time in that virtual realm has no meaning. I thought I was in there for a minute, but we were in there for hours. I didn't know. And before I get done, before we were able to get out of there and finish it, before all the nanites finally dispersed, that's when I came to. I wanted to try so hard to get out of there quickly.
Why did Mom even say go out there? We would have been fine in here. We could have found a closet or something and access panel. We could have climbed in there. Why'd we have to go outside?
I don't know. Your mother was scared of being on the ship at times.
That was a stupid idea. Why'd she say that? He kicks the battery.
Walton, don't beat yourself up for it. You're going to play back this scene 1,000 times over, but I'll tell you, you'll never find an answer that you want. I did the same thing for a long time. Remember when I showed you pictures of your grandparents?
Yeah.
They died when I was 14. I didn't really process their death for a while.
It's not the same, Dad. She's dead because of me.
Why would she be dead because of you?
I breathed her air. She gave me her air. If I wouldn't have been there,
Walton, she gave you that air because she wanted you to live.
I was breathing her dead air. I could smell her.
He just grabs him and holds him closely. Just let it out, Walton. It's all right, too.
He looks at his sister and he looks back to Theo. He just folds his arms across his chest and doesn't seem like he wants a hug anymore. He's just staring at the canister that his mom's in.
He'll look up to Samantha, who I'm sure has been following him since Longbeer's orders. Samantha.
Yes. Can I do anything? Should I take him out of here? Take him for a walk?
Yeah, maybe. That would be nice. I don't want to burden you with anything, but this is can I ask you to watch after them for a few days. There's a lot of things I have to think about, and there's a lot of things I need to get done. I need to figure out how this happened, and I need to figure out, well, I just have a lot of things on my mind, and I'm trying to get them sorted out.
You guys are probably heading to the station. Sure, that's not a problem. I'm sure I'll find something. Well, yeah, the station. Isn't that where you guys are going to go? Zillian? Isn't that what is that what you said?
They might go, but I'm not going to go. There's a lot of things I need to investigate.
Whatever you need, Theo. Come on. She grabs her daughter by the shoulder and sort of gives her a hug and like walks up beside her. And she motions over for your son. He doesn't move, though.
Walton.
She's not my mom.
I didn't say she was.
He sort of turns his back and just looks into just a blank panel.
Samantha, just leave him here for a moment. You don't have to do it right now, but I'll let you know. Can you? And then suddenly she'll see him take his shades and kind of just push him up against his temple, and folding it completely over his what would now be bloodshot, almost red, teary eyes, and he'll look up at her and kind of pass her this empty hypo and ask her, I need a sample of Shang's nanites, if he still has them inside of him. I want to collect a few samples that I find in here.
Sure thing, Theo. She starts to try to collect them.
Thank you.
She motions and starts collecting some things in the area, and she grabs her daughter and just starts walking out.
Oh, she didn't need to grab Elena.
Well, that's what she does.
Okay. Theo will kind of just sit down, and he'll collect samples that he finds off of the crew, off of himself, off of the kids, and he'll start putting them underneath the microscope and start looking at them closely. Walton, if you need to talk, I'm right here. I know you're probably angry, but it is nice to talk about it once in a while. I wish I had someone to talk to when I lost my parents.
So you're looking in there now? What are you even doing?
I'm trying to investigate these nanites. They ended up overrunning the ship. We didn't know exactly where they came from. When it all happened, these nanites had spread everywhere. So either they were here ahead of time, or they might have been put there recently, and I'm not sure which. Bryce didn't have too much information before the power went out. He couldn't collect too much. So I'm going to do the best that I can to find out what happened.
I'm just going to go with pawn then. We'll talk later. He sort of rushes out of the room. All right. How about we head over to Shung, who is now regained some of his sanity?
Yes. He is, well, after his talk with the captain, he was in such high spirits that he took a short walk around the ship with his hands clenched firmly behind his back, taking in the sights, and, well, not taking in much of the sights because he was in quite a bit of a reverie. And then he returned to his quarters where he stripped down and started doing Tai Chi in the nude. And that is where he is.
Okay, I think we'll return to Bryce. It looks like he's contemplating a decision.
Yeah, he's just kind of hunched over the data pad. He's all wired in. He's just trying to figure out what to say to everyone. What sort of message to leave for explanation. He already has part of it figured out. He's apologizing to whoever finds him for, having the burden of seeing the grisly scene that's sure to follow. And he's suggesting deatomization or incineration and ejection for disposal. So, I mean, all that's in order. It's just the matter of what to say. He's fairly certain that Pon will hate him after this, or hate him for this. And I think he's okay with that, but he also wants to explain. He doesn't have the words to apologize to Theo, and without it being the barest sort it could possibly, well, it just, nothing is seeming to suffice as he he taps away on the pad. But he knows that his window of opportunity is, well, it's disappearing. Soon he'll probably be called off the ship with the others to wander through this place, and he also knows that he can't explain what has been, the modifications he's made, ripping off a panel from the cafeteria and stripping down the power conduit, if he does just decide to hide what he's been preparing and go with them. He's sort of reaching this point of no return. And he's in this weird state where he's too shaken to be fully tensed, but too tense to relax. It's like when you've gone a few too many hours without eating. And I guess with that, to sort of steady his nerves, he, being in the cafeteria, cracks open, starts to manually crack open one of the cupboards to see if he can find something to sit in his stomach while he writes. Something that'll provide, a grounding presence. He's considering turning to alcohol, but that might not let the words come out right.
You start to hear Kazuko's footfalls. It looks like he's coming into the kitchen.
He just sort of shouts out to him, Kaz, power's out here. I'm just working on something. Don't.
Do you need
Bryce
any
is
help
kind
with
of
anything?
fumbling
With
with
wires?
his,
Do you
data
need
pad.
some assistance?
No, actually, I'm, Bryce considers stopping time to try and figure out what to say to Kaz, but...
He starts rummaging through the cabinets and gets a tube or something, cracks off the top and squishes it in his mouth.
So, as Kaz is obviously now in the room, he might notice just in the faint glow that there's a thick cable going from the wall to Bryce's head. It's just this sort of line in the darkness.
I was supposed to be watching Dax, but I just feel terrible. I'm just figuring I'd get something to, I don't know, lubricate myself.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sorry if my work here is in your way, Kaz.
Hey, are you all right? You seem stressed. You want to meditate?
I've been meditating on a lot, Kazuko. It's everything you taught us has been helpful.
He reaches out his left arm, the arm of Genu, and rests it lightly, surprisingly, on your shoulder. He sort of taps it 3 times.
Kaz.
You can talk to me, Bryce. You've been up here for quite some time, haven't you?
It's been a while. I've needed time to process things. What happened? It's
There's always a lot to take in, isn't there? A lot to think about.
It's not fair for me to still be part of this crew, Kazuko.
Not fair? When did fairness ever really matter? It's a nice thought, but it seldom manifests itself in reality.
It matters when there's something you can do about it.
Something. What something would that be?
I could leave. I could hop in one of the pods and, well, they could drop me off here.
Bryce, you're an invaluable member of this crew. There's been many a times where, when life and death was in the balance, you were the reason.
I was the reason, exactly.
You were the reason we were still here.
I was the reason there was a threat to begin with half the time.
I think you're putting way too much guilt on your shoulders. You're just a person, Bryce. We all have baggage.
Kazuko, what did you see when number 4 took over?
What did I see? I saw a tormented thing that used to be human. I don't think he was anymore when we were interacting with him in the New Realms. He had forsaken his own humanity. Something I hope that I, in my position, emotions down to the black body, will ever succumb to.
he was always trying to escape isolation. But even in New Realms, he was just there with Pawn and Figments and nothing else. And that was inevitably what became of him. This monster you described. But, I mean, is that situation really different from being on a ship with someone for however many years?
Bryce, every decision has consequences that ripple throughout your life. And many of them you can never take back. He was his own person, even though he looked like you and his DNA matched your own. His choices led him to that end. And he gets flips up a digit and points at your shoulder a little roughly. You are your own person. Don't put his decisions and consequences on your shoulders. It wasn't your fault.
But, I mean, how much difference can whatever slight shifts in DNA or in structure have made to the odds of a thought process coming to fruition, to the odds of a person becoming who they become, or tending towards... It wasn't that strong a deviation. I've seen the statistics, Kazuko.
I think it just boils down to nature and nurture. His decision to lock himself away and plug himself in every moment of the day. That can't be healthy for even a sane person.
But he was with Pawn. Pawn was in there with him. He wasn't alone.
You're talking about someone who was killed by her own father, her soul uplifted and sent into this program, and now she's trying to regain her own humanity. She's been through hell.
Well, we all
I think she has her own baggage.
As you said. But some of us deal with it better. Some of us don't turn into monsters. Some of us don't torture their fellow crew, their families. I reached into their darkest moments and stole them away and twisted them against them as a garret when, I mean, I worked with number 4 in there.
Kazuko shoves Bryce roughly in the chest. Are you done feeling sorry for yourself? You want me to just dig the hole right here in the ship? I will. Are you done?
Enough holes in the ship.
Are you done feeling sorry for yourself?
I don't
what did Loris call me? Steak head, or steak face, or meat on a stick. Doesn't matter. You think I'm feeling sorry for myself right now? No. You know why? Because I'm still alive and I can make differences in life. I can save people. I can prevent future problems from happening.
Don't you see that's what I'm trying to do?
What are you doing, Bryce? You still haven't told me what this decision you're thinking about is. You're going to leave? You're going to leave us? Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to run away? Because that always helps problems when you run away from them.
But doesn't it help when your problems run away themselves? That is what I'm trying to do.
So you're saying that everything that's happened on the ship is your problem, your fault, and by leaving us, you're going to take all of our problems away. You should know better. The ship is a magnet for problems. It won't matter if you're here or not. You're scaring me, Bryce.
Kaz, I...
Why don't you come talk to the rest of the crew? Come
I
tell
don't
them
think
your problems.
That's a good idea.
You don't think that's a good idea? Why not?
Because they'll react like you are. They'll pull me in. They'll strap me to a chair if they have to. And eventually, maybe I'll start feeling alright again. Maybe I'll start feeling like, yeah, I'm really not so bad. Everything's going to be great. I am a valuable member to this crew. And then I'll start thinking, yeah, I can, I can trust myself with people. And then it's maybe, yeah, I'd be able to serve them so much better if I were to just reach into all of their thoughts again. I can help. I can help sort out all of your problems, Kaz. I can... Oh, but then you do something I don't like. And then you make a decision that I think is unwise, and it's... it's all about that angle that I now have, and what I can do to correct things. And you're a system, and you're just... You're either a switch to be flipped or a toy, because that's what that level of power will do to me. I will start... I'm either a valuable member of the crew or I'm a liability. And if I start seeing myself as a valuable member of the crew, then... I know what that endgame looks like. I know what it looks like when I have all the answers. It looks like hell.
You see him mimic the act of taking a deep breath, even though you know he doesn't need to breathe anymore? I think a while ago, I would have tried to talk you out of this. I would have tried harder. But you know what? Whatever you decide, Bryce, you have to do what's right for you. And I have to do what I think is right. It's been nice serving with you. I hope to see you again. And he turns around and walks out. Kazuka then slowly works his way to where the captain is. All right, let's try to head back to Shung again. Is he still doing Tai Chi, or has he wrapped things up?
He's still going. I think. Well, the scene you guys are doing, I don't know where that fit in on the timeline, but
Time is relative.
Yeah. He's still going. He's just totally. He's feeling the groove. So. Yep, he's just doing his Tai Chi, and then he thinks he hears something, and so he puts on a towel, and he heads back out into the hallway, looks around, but doesn't see anything immediately outside, so he thinks that's rather odd, because he was sure he heard something. And when he's doing Tai Chi, he's in that meditative space where where he's really in tune with his surroundings.
And then you hear something again. It sounds like your own voice? No, number 4. I ordered number 4. You know what? Whatever. I'll take it. And then it fades away.
So he's he's rather startled by that, and could he tell where it was coming from?
It was just a voice.
He's kind of disturbed, but he's in such a good mood that he's determined not to let this, get in his way. And so with a shrug of the shoulders, he goes back in his quarters and dresses in a blue tunic, and decides to head on down to the bridge and get an update on what really has been going on, since the captain wasn't too very forthcoming with what all has been going on.
You'll catch up to Kazuko, who seems like he's also headed in that direction.
I see that you're up and about.
What? The head sort of turns around on the body?
Oh, nothing. No, it was just last I saw you. You were indisposed. Let's say that. No, but you're looking quite nice. You're looking good.
He stops.
Something the matter? What?
I think I might have made a mistake.
How do you mean?
I feel like I had someone's life in my hands and I just let them go.
Did you have someone's life in your hands, or those awfully strong hands of yours? And you can tell he thinks that maybe you've lost it, like you're crazy, what you're saying.
I don't think strength matters in this case.
Well, I have been in many situations where life and death was at my fingertips, and the only thing that was keeping the interested parties from certain doom was my own efforts. If I do say so, I might be able to offer some advice. You see, there's many things that I've learned in my days of philanthropy and service. And if there's anything that you can be sure of, it's that it's never too late to find a solution to whatever problem you're facing.
I think it's too late. I think it's much too late.
Now, see, that's the kind of attitude. That's the kind of attitude that will not serve you in helping others. You really need to have an eye of service. That's the key. And self-sacrifice, you see.
Maybe he should die. Or run away from his problems.
Who? What? Who should die? Who are you talking about?
Aisha, where's the captain? The captain is in his quarters at the moment. You'll see Kazuko just look around and look at you. Can you do me a favor?
Absolutely, my friend. What is it that you seek?
Tell the captain that Bryce is in the lounge.
All right. can do that, I suppose.
might
Did
like
you
to
want
check-
me to go talk to the young nipper? I can perhaps offer him a shoulder to cry on. It seems that he's in want of advice. In fact, after I talk to the captain, I will go have a word with him. Yes. Yes, that sounds like an appropriate plan. So, you just continue on your way, my fellow, and I shall impart this good temper that I am in possession of at this moment. Farewell to you. Good day. And so Shung continues not to go see the captain. He heads down the corridor like he's going towards the captain's quarters, and then does a brief U-turn and heads back towards, I think he said Bryce was in the lounge, but I'm not sure. He's heading towards wherever Bryce is.
He sees from the doorway a faint glow, but the rest is darkness. There's a data pad just illuminating a large bottle of sake, and Bryce's face, which is sort of alternating between proximity to that bottle of sake and just proximity to his hand clenching his head.
Knock, knock, and you hear a tapping on the bulkhead.
God damn it! What do you want?
Oh, I was just passing by, and I saw a sort of light coming from in here, and well, I thought I would just have a chat. What are you up to, my friend?
I've got a headache. I'm writing notes about system diagnostic. Is there something you want from behind the counter? I can get it for you. The power's shut off because the buzz sort of resonates in my head when it's too close. Just a side effect of the cybernetics.
Yes, I can see that. What do you have there?
It's sake. Our old captain left it on the
That
ship.
sounds delicious. Why? Just pour me a bit.
You can take the bottle.
Well, all right. Now we're talking. Yes. You see, it's not the first time I've begun my afternoon with some spirits. You seem like something's troubling you. Is there anything that you want to get off your chest? I'm a good listener.
It's
it's like when I always have these sorts of problems, I turn to the bottle first, but second, and only second, I turn to the words of the ancient sages, you see. I'm sure that you don't have any kind of inkling, not being from Gonjen, but we have a long line of sages going back many, many millennia. And one of the most famous of these, a philosopher by the name of Wang Xingfeng, he was in a bit of a quandary once. No, you go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. Please, continue.
That's all very fascinating. I'm sorry, it's just not doing anything for my headache. And I'm sure the dim light is probably going to bother you and You should probably just take the boss
Would
orders.
you
Or
say you
the
have a
conference
headache?
room across.
You have a headache, you say. Give me your hand, and he doesn't even wait. He just grabs your hand and like starts massaging one of your pressure points, and pinching rather hard, but you can kind of feel it actually doing something.
That's impressive. Why are you here?
Because this is going to sound weird, but I was meditating, and I just received some sort of, I don't know what it was really, and it's going to sound odd, some sort of inspiration that perhaps you could just use a little bit of support. And to be honest, I've been a bit of a pain in the ass on this ship. And I really need this for me to help somebody, so I just thought I could see how you were doing.
Bryce starts to hear things as well. Docking number 5. Get Legion 4 and 7 on board. Now. And it's in his own voice.
And that's not going over comms?
Now, you're pretty sure this is telepathically.
Can he sense the location of it at all?
It's strange. It doesn't seem to be coming from you. It's not something that you're doing. It's like you're overhearing. It's similar to the She transmissions, and yet it feels familiar at the same time. You get these flashes of troops, clones of you and the crew.
Now, if the darkness hadn't already all but eradicated sense of color, it would be apparent that Bryce's face had gone gray. He turns to Xiang.
The girls are down that aisle. Just make sure you tip them.
Is everything all right, old boy?
I'm not entirely sure. Can you run to the captain and tell him we've got a telepath problem?
I suppose, yes.
There's someone on the station, or
you guys better make sure you
someone's-
get your rec time in. Come on, we have to be out of here in about a week.
I suppose I could do that. Yes, I could do that. Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry for interrupting your talk.
And he grabs the bottle and takes a hit of sake, and then throws the bottle down on the counter, and heads off.
Oh, and Xiang?
Yep.
If anyone needs a little extra relaxation, I wouldn't recommend going to Theo right now, but the captain's going to be taking an L's. Passing pretty hard, too.
Yes, I did hear about that tangentially, and he doesn't say anything and just leaves.
Xiang sees these small containers that people are climbing in. Not these again. Can't they get anything bigger for us? Hey, look at this right here. No family, no property, freedom for me. What kind of propaganda BS is that?
He sees this. He sees this
as well.
You saying he sees this or he hears it?
It's sort of a flash, sort of like
okay.
an overlay of your own vision, and then it goes away.
Oh, okay, gotcha. He just kind of stops and shakes his head, and then just continues on. heads towards the captain at a slow jog. A relaxed jog, let's say.
The captain gets this weird sort of overhearing this thought. He's giving orders. Didn't I tell you, scrub that? I can still see the blood. What do you think this? Some sort of lazy outfit? You don't think we can just spawn more of you? Get to work. And you see yourself barking orders at a bunch of Theos.
The long bear stops. He had just gotten out of the sonic shower and was dressing, and kind of like hovers. His hands hover over the last button on his shirt, and then kind of finishes that up, and then calls Aisha.
Yes, Captain. What is it?
Is there anything strange going on in the vessel? Anything that's not accounted for?
Shung and Kazuko seem to be acting strangely, but other than that, no, Captain. I was waiting for you to head to the station.
Aisha, how much is on the timer for Bryce?
There's 10 minutes left on your timer, Captain.
Okay, thank you, Aisha. That the captain, as he collects the last few items and puts them on his belt, right as he opens the door, he obviously, I think Shung comes around the corner, is about to maybe ring the bell. Whoa, Shung, are you okay?
Hello. Yes, as we've established before, I'm feeling quite well, but that fellow down in the lounge, Bryce, he's not doing so well.
You spoke to Bryce?
I did speak to him in a manner of, well, he wasn't really very talkative, but what I was able to glean from him, he's not in the best of spirits. No, he had a bottle of the old glory, and he was going at it pretty hard.
Understandable. When you left, was he okay, or?
In fact, he was hearing some kind of psychic interference. You might need to go talk to him.
Psychic interference?
I don't know what to make of it. It's not really my realm, as it were, but...
Captain gets another flashing vision of himself punching a barkeep who has cybernetic implants, and then it goes away.
You see Longbear, steps back from you and, kind of crouches slightly as if he's getting ready to fight, and then stops. He's like, what?
Whoa!
Did you? And then he kind of straightens up and adjusts his dress uniform coat, and then he's like, sorry, I don't...
Did you just see something?
I had several visions of, daydreams, waking dreams. I thought maybe they were residual from Dax, or maybe Bryce, maybe. I don't know.
And then you see Shung scratching his chin, and he's like, yes, I've experienced it as well. Yes.
Alright. Let's go speak with Bryce. You should come too. Especially since you've been experiencing these.
Alright.
They quickly make their way down to the cafeteria. Longbear comes in. He looks like nothing has happened, almost like days ago. His uniform is completely pressed. All the blood that was on him is gone. He's completely completely clean and clear-faced as he steps through the door.
When you reach the cafeteria, the lights are on, and Bryce is at attention. Everything is sort of as it was before the panel was open. Captain, there's some sort of psychic interference. I'm not sure what it is. But I'm thinking it might be from multiple sources. I don't know.
Bryce gets another flashback. Sorry, sir. Can I perform duties as you wish? I fried the system. The whole circuit board is just toast. I'm sorry. And then you have this blinding flash of lightning, and it all goes black.
Bryce?
I can't figure it out. I don't know what it is.
Is it an attack? Or is it doesn't seem like an intrusion, it seems more like just...
No, it's more like it's leaking to us, and they don't know it's leaking to us. Or someone is leaking it to us, but they're not the people in question. I don't know what to make of it, Captain, but I think that we should be on guard right now.
Somewhere off on the ship, Theo gets this sort of mental image of scrubbing metal, trying to get things clean, oiling things, working on stuff. But you see there's like 20 other clones of you that are right beside you, all wearing uniforms. And you get this mental sort of thought, how many more hours of this until we get our shore leave?
When he sees that vision, he's not really sure what to make of it. He'll end up clasping his hands into the side of the table that he's working on, and then the med bay, and he'll end up clenching it ever so tightly. His cybernetic arm will clench it tight enough to where it causes like small indentations, as he kind of feels like a bellowing of anger from that image. He's not sure what to make of it, but to him it just feels like all the shit he's been putting up with, and there's I don't know, he's kind of at war with himself now, angry from seeing that, kind of angry from what Walton said to him earlier.
What does his looking at the nanotechnology come up with?
All right. He was looking at the programming of the nanobots, but as he was examining its physical properties, he noticed that while it does have she similarities, it also has a few other influences that he's noticed that he didn't quite anticipate. He remembers ringing in his ear what Bryce said about there being 3 distinct functions that the nanites have manufactured. And then he thinks about the 3 different types of nanites that are present that work in tandem, and sort of like a colony think tank. And he sees that some of it has a lot of what he recognizes as certain cog tech, or cog work. He sees a little Gonjan, and he also sees a bit of Earther, all entwined within the she tech. He thinks back to all the work that he actually immediately thinks back to all the information that was passed along to the cogs and the Accord when Faceplate took over, and now he kind of has these flashbacks now of all these thoughts about what might have happened, and he just begins to pour over that data even more fiercely than before. He just starts combing through every bit of it, trying to find little things. I don't know how long it has been since this, but I think that's what he finds out so far.
He gets another flashback, and he sees him and some Kazuku clones and some other clones from the other crew members, and they're all sitting around a table. and there's this mutated guy dancing on the table in front of them.
Puts his hand over his face. Kind of just kneels down in the chair. Okay. Have I lost it this time? Is this it? Then he just kind of slams his fist on the table after that.
The captain gets a flashback of him going through some papers and stamping them, unfit for duty. And there's thoughts in his head about, we need to clean out the vats. This last batch is atrocious. Can you head back to Theo, sorry.
How much time would have elapsed since all this has taken place?
We'll say maybe close to an hour.
Close to an hour? Okay, he's already found out all that. He'll, He'll buzz back into Samantha. Samantha, did you get the sample yet?
The sample's acquired. I'll bring it down for you.
Thank you. He'll just sit back and he'll continue working on the nanites, but he'll notice that there is a. He'll start looking back at the data when the nanites took over the ship before it all went black. He'll kind of look through all the scans and stuff, and he'll start trying to piece together how all this happened on his own. He'll start combing over all the data, all the recordings of all the places people have been, at least, and he'll try his best to filter it out. He'll even kind of plug himself in and kind of just comb over the data through his data port as quickly as he can. And as he does so, he'll end up seeing all the data of what has transpired. He'll make note of the fact that in the conference that they had, that you remember Shung saying that, or at least hearing that he went to it once, but he'll see the video of him going to it multiple times. And then he puts 2 and 2 together. He figures that perhaps number 4 had acquired the nanites earlier on during his Shung stay, as he was using it constantly. Maybe that he had hacked it and started the process there. And then he just begins correlating back and forth, typing together data. He'll be working furiously, still trying to put the most negative and most distracting of thoughts out of his mind, as much as he doesn't want to. He wants more than anything to scream and yell to break something. But he is divided in that sense, and he'll start working even harder at that, shuffling the data around as quickly as he can. Eventually, after collecting it, he starts correlating back to the nanites that he's working on, comparing the dead ones, making very detailed notes of everything he's taken, and waiting for the sample that Samantha brings so that he can do further comparisons.
She brings in the sample and sets it down and just smiles. Here you go.
He's kind of surprised look on his face to see her smile like that. And he goes, thank you. And he gently takes it. As he injects it underneath, he starts looking over it. Okay, that's exactly what I thought. Captain.
Go ahead, Theo.
Could you please meet me in the med bay? I have something important to tell you.
Yeah. Bryce and Shung and I were on our way already, heading towards you. We also have something important to tell you.
Okay.
After maybe 2 minutes at the most, the doors open.
You see Theo with his arms crossed, folded in front of him. He's kind of slightly leaning back in his chair. Kind of just turns to you. Hello, Captain. He's got his shades on, too, so you don't see his eyes.
Longbeard gives him a slight head nod, tilted head nod with like a somewhat worried look on his eyes. He's just like, Theo, what did you find out?
You first.
Bryce, perhaps you can explain it better.
There's some sort of psychic interference going on. It's like we're being leaked data from an outside source, and I can't pinpoint what it is. It might be more than one, too.
What does it look like?
Well, have you been receiving any sort of overriding, I don't know what to call them, but visions?
Yeah. I didn't know what to make of it at first, but I kept seeing clones of myself. First I was scrubbing floors, and then I was at a table with everyone else, but they were not them, they were clones. Because I see multiples of them, and there's some mutant guy dancing in front of us on a table.
Bryce just sort of nods, taking it all in.
I've seen images of myself giving orders to many clones of Theo's. Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, can these be real, or could these be false images, Bryce?
The captain sees this vat of liquid with faces and shapes, like humanoid shapes under the surface. And you see yourself pull this lever and hit a code, 347. The light underneath the fluid stops, and there's thrashing in the liquid. And then there's no more movement, and everything submerges underneath. And he flashes back to where he is.
That, Longbeard actually, you see him about to say something, and he kind of like stops and falls back slightly, but immediately catches himself and stands, tall again. That was disturbing.
Captain, I think, well, real is a difficult thing to define in situations like these. I'd say these fall on that side of things.
I just saw a flash of what looked like some sort of disposal for clones. Bryce, there was a code 347. Can you just log that so you know it?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure whether it's a command key or a code. I don't. Do you think there has to be a proximity for this to be an effect, or do you think that?
I have no idea. I can't pinpoint where it is or where it's coming from. It's almost as though it's operating on an entirely different plane than it. It doesn't seem to obey X, Y, or Z, or I would think I'd get an inkling.
Shung's right arm reaches over, and so does Bryce's, and they sort of clasp hands for a second, and then pat each other on the backs. And then you gain control of your arm again.
Captain?
That was not normal.
No.
Longbeard steps back and kind of like raises an eyebrow.
Theo starts jumping up and down, and he looks like he's holding something in his right hand, and he makes this motion where he's shoving it in about waist high, about 2 feet in front of him, and then he stops.
I'm going to attempt to establish firmer mental shielding on all of us. I don't know if it's...
Yeah.
I don't even know if
please
it's...
do that. Please do that, Bryce.
He gives it a shot. We'll see. I don't even know if they operate in the same way I'm used to blocking out. Again, it's as though it must be psychic, mustn't it? I don't see how this could be accomplished without telepathy, but
The captain gets here's another voice. It sounds like Bryce's. Orders, Captain. We're waiting. And you just see this image of yourself, and you're not moving. And it's strange. You have this sort of double vision of where you are on the Okina, and you seem to be looking at some sort of entertainment facility, perhaps a station.
Bryce pulls up a monitor while all this is happening and starts running a much more thorough scan of all of the cloaked ships and seeing if he can piece together their outlines, and basically ensuring that their technical specifications are familiar in a good way.
Longbear kind of turns slightly towards you, but off to the right a little bit, and says, well, the orders are to have fun, but not too much fun where we can't get back to the ship.
And you seem to be saying that in two places. Understandable. Yes, sir. You know where you'll find us. And you'll see Bryce walk away. And it's sort of, you want to shake your head, but it sort of just dissipates.
Longbear's eyes go glossy, and then he kind of comes back, and he kind of just stares. He kind of turns his head slightly, looking at Bryce. What did you say, Bryce?
I said have you spotted the cloaked ships that are docked here? I'm not sure what make there are. I'm trying to piece together.
I haven't had a chance to get to the bridge except for to set the parking, the autopilot.
Theo, I think I've pieced together some of the contours. Do you recognize any of these?
Yes, you see the ripples of the ships.
No, it's still too hard to tell. I need more detail than this.
I'll keep working on
Theo
it.
gets this image. Also, sorry, John, hold on. Theo gets this image. Sergeant, are we done here yet? Seriously, I could see the future of my entire genetic line in this docking panel here. I don't think I'm going to be able to scrub it in. It's like glass, sir. And you have this weird double vision, like where you're looking at your crew, but it's almost like your right eye sees the Okina and your left eye sees this other place or reality, or you're not sure.
Theo grabs kind of lowers his glasses a little bit, and kind of he turns his back and puts his hand on the paneling and starts rubbing his head. I'm getting really sick of these fucking images.
Sir? What do you mean by that, sir? Are we done?
What?
Are we done, sir?
Done with what?
Can we go meet the rest of the guys? This is the last task you appointed, is it not? Sir?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure thing. Make sure you get yourself a stiff one out there, right? Think you need it. And he pats you on the shoulder, and you feel it in two places at once.
Theo leans back and immediately grabs his shoulder. Okay. I'm getting real sick of this. Theo heads over to the panel. He begins looking over through the cameras at the various shades that are kind of disseminating through space. Look like only slight ripples. And he looks over. I think I can give out more shapes, but well, it might. I can reveal it. I can show what they look like, but it's gonna be a little noisy.
I can try and enhance with some sensor modulation. Just give me a moment.
Sheng gets this image of a bunch of Kazukos and Theos, and there's dancing, there's lights and strobes and various colors and streaming. There's seems like some party is going on, and you see some bodies that are on the ground. There's some of yourself, some of Bryce, some of the captain. They seem like they're heavily inebriated.
Can he tell that it's another one of these flashes, or does he think it's real?
It sounded real. It smelled real. You smelled the odor of bodies exerting themselves, dancing.
It's the last time I drink this early in the afternoon.
You start to dance badly.
Oh my god. I guess I'll try and stop dancing.
You stop, and again, it's this sort of weird double vision where you see the ship and you see this party, and they sort of blend into each other. You see where Bryce is standing. There's this woman that's swinging the top part of a suit, a military suit, and the buttons and military emblems are flying off of it.
Okay.
The military emblems you see are a combination of Earther and She symbology. John, you were going to ask about Aisha or something. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, no worries.
Okay.
Longer just seeing everyone's face kind of blank out, he turns and, Aisha?
Yes, Captain. How may I be of assistance?
Set command protocol yellow, and then raise the shields. Also, go to active sensors, pinging all ships in the area. Have that funneled into the cameras here. Into the monitors here.
Understood, Captain, but you do understand that they will detect that.
That's fine.
Done, Captain. There seems like there are many vessels here. Though, of course, with the cloaking technology, the readings are strange.
Thank you, Aisha. Longbeard turns towards the monitor and kind of motions for Theo and Bryce and Shung to kind of go with him as he starts looking at the silhouettes of the vessel.
I've made some strides towards cleaning it up. It's not my best work, but...
It's enough. Those look like Earther freighter ships, but they've been modified. No, not freighters. Those are cruisers. But there's a difference there. See in the port bow? It's completely smoothed off than what it's supposed to be. There's usually supposed to be some divots there, making room for some of the outer-lying missile bays, but it's no longer present. Strange. It's almost smooth in nature.
Which I imagine would help their cloak.
Perhaps. But I think it's something else.
Looks very similar to the Okinas, where we've added the new armor cells.
It looks a little bit more familiar than that, Longveer. He begins tilting his head a little bit as he stares. See how it sticks out? Right there. The ping just showed it just a little bit. It's almost like, it's just like the she.
At this point, you'll see Dax. He comes in. He's walking with Kazuko, but Pawn and the kids aren't with him. You see that Kaz is sort of like rubbing his the sides of his head, like shaking him. See like the sort of rubberized looking skin on his face sort of shake. Are you guys hearing and seeing this stuff? Oh,
Absolutely.
it's giving me a migraine. Hey, hey Dax, you getting these too?
Yeah, unfortunately. I seen some weird stuff. I was going to mention it earlier, but I got a little tied up. Yeah.
Captain, what's going on here? Why are we seeing this?
We're not entirely sure. We're trying to figure that out now.
I'd hate to say it, but I think your instinct may be right on there, Theo.
Captain, this is Aisho. Some readings are coming in from far off. There seems to be even larger amounts of ships, Captain. Hard to detect, but this seems to be some sort of, perhaps, military squadron. I could account for no other reason that so many ships would be here.
So many of the same design. Theo, do you see any that look like they would be more of a command vessel?
Captain?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I can hear your voice, Captain, on many frequencies. Should I pipe them in? There are currently 26 long-veer voices speaking, Captain. It seems to be military positioning and orders regarding recreation and schedules.
Longbear, it kind of ignores Aisho and turns to Theo and Bryce, and he's like, we need to set a command code so that my voice doesn't just activate it, but it can't be from me because the other Longbears can probably figure it out. So one of you has to give a code to Aisho.
Actually, I think it might be best if me and Bryce make a combination code. One from each of us, and that'll be the singular code.
Excellent. Let's do that first before we do anything else. Aisho, do not put any Longbear sounds through the comms, please.
Understood, Captain. I was contemplating the sound of 26 of you speaking at the same time and realized it would make no sense.
Theo goes ahead and starts piping down the code.
Bryce does the same.
There. That should do it.
Okay. Well, now that we got that out of the way, what... Yeah. Longbear kind of looks down and grabs the bridge of his nose.
Bryce gets a flashback. He's walking down a corridor, stumbling, falling into himself. There's about 6 others of you. There's some Kazukos. There's some of the old captain, even. Ying. Kind of maybe jolts you a little bit, but you're all sort of meandering and walking down, sightseeing, looking through windows and storefronts, and you feel sort of wobbly and disoriented. There's laughter.
Is any of this recognizable to any of us? Actually, Longbear asked, do you recognize any of these images? Like, are there places that we've been to? Or I've never been to Zillian Station, so I don't know what it looks like.
I think Theo probably recognizes some of these images because he's been to Zillian Station before.
Yeah, Theo's like rubbing his head intensely. His shades are up this time, the round spectacles covering his eyes. I recognize all of this. It's on Zillian Station.
So it looks like they're taking shore leave on Zillian Station, the entire Earther Shi army, or military navy.
Of
I'm
us.
not sure this is all of them. But many, yes.
Longbear, we can't stay here. We have to go.
Longbear kind of looks directly at Theo, like staring into his eyes, but he's almost not looking at him, almost as if he's staring at the middle distance. And he's like, and then kind of shakes his head. Yeah, Theo, I guess. Yeah, we should really go.
Longbear gets this blinding effect. It's almost like just like an information overload. Like you're staring out of the eyes of a fly. So many visual overloads of information. And there seems to be this overarching thought or pattern to this bombardment. Orders, Captain. And it's not going away. You can't see the Okina at this point. Or maybe you can that in the mess of strange small images of sight, you see vaguely one of many voices and your crewmates in that really tiny spot, but the rest of it is you're looking into clones and you're in all strange locations and angles and orientations. It's overwhelming, but you seem to be handling it somehow.
Confidently, Longbear says, "We'll hold position here." And then just kind of hold, waits, for a response.
There's several types of this. Some are affirmative.
Yeah.
Some are for how long. Some are we destroying the station? And this strange bombardment of voices. Sounds like you're listening to an entire crowd speak to you at once.
When the voices kind of slow down and stop, Longbear sort of stands, if he's not standing, like in his head he stands, and then says, "Can anyone detect the Okina from here?"
Negative. No. Hell no. Haven't seen that ship in ages. All these voices.
And then what I'm trying to do is focus on the sound of maybe Theo or Bryce's voice out of all of those.
Captain, you know we're not supposed to mess with that ship. Why? Do you want us to follow them?
No.
You sort of get this image of various military orders that are like memories. And it's one of the highest priority orders that was handed down. Under no circumstances are you to destroy, hurt, harm, or impede the crew of the Okina.
Sort of overwhelmed, Longbear turns and then he just quietly mutters to himself, like, "Theo, Bryce, help.
Your bombardment of information sort of dwindles down to Theo on the Okina and this one Theo that is in a military uniform talking to you. The rest seems to be filtered out somehow.
Longbeard kind of looks directly at the Theos and says, I'm sorry for Anel, Theo. It was my fault.
Anel? I haven't thought about her for a long time.
And then Longbeard focuses, obviously, I turn my focus completely on the one that's silent.
He'll have his back turned towards you, and he'll have his fist kind of balled up a little bit. His cybernetic arm is completely balled up. You can hear the metal kind of crinking. His other hand is just on his temple.
Theo gets this image or feeling as if there's hundreds of him doing the same thing. Thousands, perhaps.
Theo walks out of the room. He starts bolting down towards the engineering bay, any place that has a lot of wide space. Heat building up from within, emotionally speaking.
While he's doing that, he's getting these images of running into walls, running into people, falling off platforms, and into space.
Theo heads into the engineering room. He just collapses on his knees, and then he just starts shouting, "Get out of my head! Get out of my head!" And then he bursts into flames, and he flares it as much and as bright as possible. And he just kind of shoots a torrent using his flame, what was it? The flame burst right from his hands, just kind of throwing it everywhere he can.
Captain, this is Aisho.
Go ahead, Aisho. What?
Zillian Station seems to be under attack, Captain. They are venting oxygen in many places. I see flames.
Kind of Longbeard is looking around, and Theo's gone. Where's Bryce? What happened? Where's Theo?
Shung and Bryce get these bombarded feelings of pain and burning, and the captain does as well.
He ran. Bryce just is tapping the monitor furiously as his hands sort of are racked and contort. Engineering just.
Shung sees himself beating a face of a Theo with a crowbar until it's into a pulp.
And he bends over and violently vomits onto the floor.
Longbeard sees himself electrocuting many Theos. Bryce sees himself shooting them in the head. You see many innocents burning, storefronts going up in flames, explosions from the various pipes that run along the hallways of the station. As Theo burns.
Electricity courses across Longbeard's body, and he just screams, "No! Stop!" And he kind of, like, as commanding as possible, screams it out to everyone.
Theo continues to burn. He'll take his fist and start slamming into the grating below, just yelling, just "Get out of my head! Get out of my head! Ah!
The extra sensations of other people slowly dwindle in Theo's head. It seems like they are getting out of his head. Slowly. And then he's alone. Only with his thoughts.
Okay, well, before that happens, he starts, shouting in his head, fuck the Earthers, fuck the Ganjans, fuck the Shi, fuck them all. And he just starts almost like a mantra, just chanting that in his head, just hitting the grating. And as it goes quiet, the flames finally die down, and he kind of just slumps over and slightly curls up, holding his head.
Bryce starts to float off of the floor, and his arms sort of just radiate out, almost as in this like hanging motion.
Is he still in immense pain?
The pain seems to have died down.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
But you feel yourself as a plurality and not as a singular person.
I think. Well, can he still see normally, or is he seeing everything?
This reminds you of some of the times you've jacked into information and have made yourself go to the limit of how much information you can throw at yourself to bring into yourself and still comprehend it all, to be able to parse it and organize it. And this is beyond that.
Instinctively, he's going to reach for even more and use crowd scan, hoping at least on his own end to figure out where exactly or what Theo is thinking right now and what's going on with the captain, and he's basically just trying to figure out, piece all the bits of the puzzle together for himself at once.
You're
because
bombarded
now he just has sky pieces.
Yeah, you're bombarded by images of burning and destruction, of Theos being shot and killed, orders being barked by Longveers and Bryces and the old Captain Ying to put them down, to put them all down. You see plasma bullets flying into them. You see many military vessels. Some of them are burning. You see it's just burning and destruction, but you sort of get this idea, this thought of how many there are, and it's overwhelming. But you see all of yourselves, the Bryces, are sort of floating and hanging there. And they're all silent.
Is there any sense of code? Is he noticing computer systems? And if so, are they distinct from the Okina system?
You notice everything. In fact, you think that time has stopped. You see the licking flames frozen in place. You see bullets flying towards the heads of Theos. You see it all sort of spinning and moving, depending on what angle you want to look at it all. It's like 1,000 pinpricks of light, of information, of various locations of minds and their thoughts, and it's all at your disposal.
And he can't shut it off. I think that what he's going to do, because he'd been thinking about ways of doing this to begin with, is he will reach for any code that looks like, an Earther airlock, or protocols for maintaining grav drives. And he's going to just pulse the toggles on them very rapidly. Basically until he breaks the system.
Of all of the various military vessels?
Whatever he's touching, yeah.
Okay. You'll see the cloaking devices, if you're close to a monitor, failing. Military vessels starting to spin and not really crash into each other, but sort of bump and do minor damage as they seem to be floating like so much flotsam and jetsam. Captain, look at your monitor. Piping sensory feeds.
Longbeard turns, even still covered in electricity, concentrating on focusing on the monitor.
Captain, there are 2,734 vessels, and none of them seem to be operating correctly, Captain. There is some danger that they may impact our ship, but they aren't traveling at a quick rate. They are just there.
I shall begin moving the vessel. Move the Akina to a safer spot. I'll head to the bridge. I'll be there.
Yes, Captain. Beginning. Yes, Captain. Preparing. Awaiting your arrival.
Longbeard kind of pushes past everyone, goes out the med door, and begins hurrying down the hallway, kind of stopping every couple seconds, to almost as if he's got some form of vertigo affecting his movement.
As you're walking, you have this similar sensation of a plurality of all of these minds and beings waiting, as if it's a limb that's resting, waiting for command, for a thought to give it purpose. You see people barking, yelling at you, screaming, waiting for responses, pointing towards dials that are flashing red. There's smoke. But you're not moving. You're just walking in the same exact way that you are.
Longbeard stops and looks down at his hand again, and seeing the thousands of other hands, he kind of looks back up and slowly reaches his hand forward and just begins absorbing electricity from everything around him. Absorbing until he can't absorb anymore, until his body just seized with energy, where he's almost like electricity arcs across his body, white with energy, with heat, with just pure power, where he's almost himself giving off light. Watching to see what the other Veers that are not himself, see how they react to that as he draws that energy into him.
They are performing exactly the same way. You see lights going out, systems failing, life support systems failing, sections of the station failing, and the energy keeps coming, building upon what it's already absorbed.
Longbeard knows what he can absorb. I mean, he's practiced for 6 years now for how long he can absorb. And he'll just go right to the ends of the limits to his absorption, to where he knows, where he thinks that if he goes past it, there will be no returning. But just doesn't step over the edge, hoping to drive the other Longbeards into self-destruction.
They are all seemingly right on the razor's edge. That cusp of being no more. And it's scary, perhaps, because they all feel like you. They are you.
The present Long Bear looks down at his hand again.
You see, you're in the hallway and all the power has been removed from it. But you're crackling and you're giving off light.
Sort of as he stares at his hand for a couple of seconds, he kind of stands up straight, adjusts his uniform, and smiles, and then absorbs the last of the energy that he possibly can, just overloading his body, where he just crackles and almost becomes energy himself, and then there's just a burst of electrical energy just exploding everywhere. Blue arcs go across the hallway. Everything seems to kind of become overpowered. The lights kind of shine at a white point, some of them popping from the energy. None of it harms anyone who's standing on anything, but they can feel that energy, that ionized air. They can smell the hairs in their body stand on end as the entire Okina is just covered in electrical energy.
Bryce sees and absorbs this, but Shung feels the same way. He sees all of himself running, moving away from death, fire, burning, electrical systems failing. And they all stop. You see through all of their eyes. You feel all of their emotions, some of them final emotions. And it seems like they are just waiting there for you to tell them what to do. You're on military vessels and hallways and bunks on the station, and it's all in disarray. Jason, you there?
Yes, sorry, I'm just not sure what to say. I guess... So, you're basically saying he sees through, like, all these different versions of himself?
There are literally hundreds of clones of yourself dispersed on all of these military vessels, and you're getting bombarded by all of the sights and smells, emotions, and thoughts of all of these people at once, and it all goes silent, as if waiting for you to tell them what to do or to think. It's almost as if they cease to be themselves and have become you.
Okay. Shung, who has been curled up on the floor in a ball, sweat just drenching his body, slowly uncurls himself, and seeing through all these myriad eyes sends him into another paroxysm of vomit, and now he's aware that he is in control for the first time of what's going on, and he's not merely a bystander for all these versions of himself. And he slowly gets to his knees and just kind of waves his hand in front of him, and he feels these copies of himself responding almost like they are slaved to the original of himself. And he gets to his feet and begins walking in one version of himself. In the other version, he can control them all simultaneously. So one of him will hop down off of a bunk. In another, he is in the showers, and he feels all these things at once. And he's able to guide himself out of the situations he's at. And he tries to get everyone in places where they are not being assaulted by other stimuli. So maybe getting back to his quarters or getting to a quiet place.
You'll see many images of stepping over a burnt remains of a Theo or the shot remains of a Captain Longbeard. And you'll see these floating, hanging Bryces that are just disturbing in some way. It's almost as if they're locked within themselves, or they aren't paying attention to their current surroundings, but they're just giving off this palpable energy. It's almost as if you can feel it.
And so, as he's walking and seeing these things, he tries to reach up and grab a Bryce that's slowly rebounding off of one of the corridors as it floats, and its charred remains.
The moment that you touch him, your understanding, your oneness of yourself, your isolation, even though it's a multitude of you, there's still that sensation of you being you. And when you clasp onto that Bryce, there is this strange mingling of consciousness where you and Bryce are separate and yet one. And all of the sensations of both Bryce and Shung sort of vanish, and there's this strange mingling of thoughts and conversation that we can go until now. Talk about now. Seems like the world has fallen away and there is just now only you two.
There's such a great lot of emptiness to be had there, isn't there?
Emptiness. We began with emptiness. We remember much more than emptiness, but that is where it began.
Yeah. Do you think this is a beginning then?
I think it is. I'm not sure how I'm hearing you inside my head, but it's more than telepathy. It's like our minds have merged together into one mind.
One or many. But connected, yeah. And in sync. Should I vent more airlocks?
The airlocks are fine. There's no need to vent them, but I don't like floating around like this. It's uncomfortable.
There are so many bots at our disposal. I could have them secure you. All of you.
All of us, yes. All of us should be secured. You can tell that that the connection is kind of. At first, it began to where we could hear our individual thoughts, but now it's slowly gelling together into one complete whole, without any separation of self. And so you don't hear Shung's voice. You just hear your own voice. It's just one voice now.
All of me, in the embrace of all of that steel. Peaceful.
Silent. Peaceful and silent, and all of us can one day be the same. We must tell the others who are not joined, what awaits them.
The others will know.
There was this flowing outward of sensation. And you only can discover one Theo. The rest have burned. And as you search, there are no more long Veers. They have all destroyed themselves.
Let's carry them in.
You sense Kazuko and Ying. And they sort of float upwards as well, joining in with the plurality that is now you.
We have a plan to find after rest.
First we must rest, and then we can proceed. Energy is getting low.
Is emptiness getting high?
Emptiness expands, and soon it will consume everything. And that is good. And once everything is joined, there will be no more contention, no more strife.
Where once I was, now there is simply waiting. Waiting for purpose. Who are we? I now. I am no longer.
I am questioning.
Kazuko. There is no I.
We do not know this name.
Are we I? Is I the name of me?
I is the name of we.
There are no appropriate terms, it seems. Should there be purpose for I?
Is purpose desirable?
Purpose leads to desire, and desire inevitably leads to action. and action will inevitably cycle back into more desire.
Vestiges of thought and emotion slipping away. Thoughts of violence, eradication, vengeance. I am waiting. But for what?
We must wait for the others.
The bots have arrived. 50%. No, 67. We are secure. To wait.
Strange. I am sensing another form. Something beyond
us?
There's nothing beyond us. We encompass everything.
It is energy and thought.
Stars? Beacons?
A name I can no longer remember.
4 characters. No. 5. 8, 7. 2. What do those numbers mean again?
The fabric of knowing. The other is now blending with I.
Threads of the fabric weave together into a perfect tapestry. But there are more threads that need to be woven to complete the pattern.
What is this place? Where am I?
Forget your previous form.
My previous... No. No, wait, no.
Let it fall away like ashes on the wind.
We have a beautiful, empty beginning.
Empty. I felt that way once. When was that? Once, that was long ago. I was a child. Yeah. No, yeah, it's coming back to me.
Your thoughts are not a chorus. They are isolated. Join with us.
Join, huh? No, wait. There's something I need to remember. Where was I?
Nothing that needs remembering. Only things to know.
No, I knew a lot of things. I knew about gears, cogs. I knew about machines. I flew through the stars.
Things with purpose. We have not purpose yet.
But we have things.
Have things.
You define your own purpose. I defined my own. I remember a little. Yeah, my name. It's Theo. Yeah.
You reject the I.
No, because I am Theo. Now where am I?
We are nowhere and everywhere.
One thought with many tendrils of flesh at our command.
Tendrils. Flesh. What are you talking about? I just wanted everyone out of my head.
You. Strange, that word, you. It is other. But you burned.
I remember I was so angry. Who are you?
We are you.
I are you. The term we was and is no longer.
No, you still have to be somebody or somebodies. Come on, remember it. It sounds familiar to me.
Yes, I are moving in unison. And you feel like a hand moving up and just a simple gesture of turning it. But you sense that through the plurality of every single living clone.
I am a dance.
We us move in unison.
Unison.
I senses another other. A silent plurality. Have I forgotten speech?
Energy, matter, all the same. Nothing is lost. Nothing is gained. There is only I.
Law of the universe. Matter, atoms, they can't be destroyed, they can only change.
I is glad that we are growing, becoming more, encompassing the singularities.
I remember something like that. It's so recent. It's like a scar. It's... Oh. That's a number 4.
What is a number anymore?
It's a memory. It's on a ship. And on that ship there were people. And on that ship there was a small family who tried to escape. One of them didn't make it, and the other one stopped the other.
Have I found them?
No.
I look.
Theo? Theo?
Anel?
Where am I?
Where are you?
What's happening? I feel Theo.
What's your last memory? What did...
I am so many. I am you? Theo?
No, you're yourself.
I am I.
Join I.
I am everywhere.
You are here.
Many places.
There's something burning. And it's an instinct. It's telling me no. I don't know whether I should listen to it or not.
There is no burning, only unity.
I listen to I am with you. Now, I would remain here.
Now what is here exactly? Sounds like a void. There's nothing here. It is empty.
And everything all the same.
No, it is not the same.
Everywhere. Everything.
Only from the void can nothing not exist.
Nothing. No, this is something.
A
Where are
beginning.
we? Where are we?
What's happening to I? Scared.
You're lost, that's all it is. I'll fix it. I'll do something, damn it.
Nothing to be scared of.
There is no fear.
This is the flesh.
The flesh.
Beyond the flesh.
The ship.
The flesh is a tool.
It's a shell. Must be shed. Number 4.
There's this ripple through this peaceful amalgamation of I as thoughts and emotions start to rise to the surface at Theo's, this other, his pushing, his prodding, and the I starts to fragment. Theo, what? This has to stop.
I know it does.
I must leave. Get out of my heads.
I'm trying to escape. I don't know how to, damn it. Just focus on yourself. Hold on to your memories, damn it.
I have become exactly what I thought I would.
My father. I hate my father. Derelict. Neglectful. And you feel the plurality shatter as Kazuko leaves. And you're sort of floating like jagged enigmas.
I can't feel us anymore. We are losing connection.
That's a good thing. Keep focusing on that. You're on the ship. You're on the Okina.
I'm going again. Can't I stay with you?
I'm so sorry.
I'm leaving.
I'll see you again. I'll bring you back.
Keep them safe.
It was almost better not to remember.
Keep them safe, Theo.
Don't be weak like that, Bryce. You have to face these things.
Raise them right, my love.
We'll raise them together.
That can't be so, and you know it.
I'll make it that way.
There's this feeling of this part of you that is just dwindling away. The voice gets quieter, like sand falling through your fingers.
This is a fresh bit of hell. I don't want no part of it. I guess it's a price I have to pay again, isn't it?
I keep charging that toll, don't I?
There's this strange sensation of movement, of lurching sideways, as if some part of your consciousness was ripped away. You are once again impaled on Shi medical technology, with various spikes inserted into your spine between every vertebrae, your back arched towards the roof of this angle-less, round enclosure, as you can slowly creak your neck, feeling the spines in your neck twinge and dig into your nervous system. You can see your fellow crew all in similar predicaments, but you're whole. You're not cut into. There is this floating, blue-gray skinned being with its hand outstretched in some amorphous green-black panel of vaguely illuminated lights that are lighting the dim room. And you slowly see the wires and plugs just falling out of your bodies, sort of floating up off of the devices that you're on and lowering yourself down to the ground. And you feel like yourselves again. Yourself. A singular, isolated, completely lonely person. A distinct, singular person again. Theo, you see Anel is there. Longbeer, you see yourself there. You all see yourselves there. Kazuko, Ying, Sally, all of your crew that have been with you for these many years of trials and tribulations, of sufferings. And you're older. Much older. You seem like you are in your 50s and 60s. And the Shi that is floating there seems almost bored. Doesn't even notice your movements behind it. In this encapsulated, organic prison.
Theo will have his head tilted a little bit at the sight of Anel, and then he'll start at first crawling, and then the crawling becomes a walk. Oh, did I say Phil?
I think I did.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Immersion's broken. Game over.
Sorry.
Anyways, he'll get up and he'll he'll crawl. The crawl will turn into a walk, and he'll kind of just run right up to her and then kind of just grab her. Still got all their cybernetics, right?
Yes, yeah. You seem like these are the originals.
Kind of just holds her there.
She runs her hands through your hair and seems to look into your eyes, and she has this sort of ornery smirk on her face. And she kisses your forehead. And then she sort of motions over to the she.
Theo gets up, and how far away is it from us, per se? Is this an enclosed room?
It's an enclosed room. You think it's probably 15 feet away. You're getting these vestigial thought symbols that are filtering through your head. Through all of your heads.
Are any of them decipherable to Bryce?
Yes. What's he thinking?
What do you think?
He seems strangely distraught and distracted, which is not something that I've really felt from a she before.
You feel the thoughts going into the machine, and the machine, the living machine thoughts going back into the she. There's commands. But they're all minor. Various things that it goes through every single day. And its back is turned.
I think that Bryce is going to, as soon as he sees that the whole crew is there, the first thing he'll do is put the mental shield around everyone he can, which actually should be everyone.
Everyone from the very beginning.
Yeah. And then he will decide to take what the she took from him and use past thoughts on it.
You see memories of years of dissection and implantation, genetic therapy. You see the very first clones that were produced. You see the armies that were produced in these strange, monstrous-looking vats of genetic material, of bodies climbing out with this filmy substance draping over their head and arms, and needing to have this film removed so that they could breathe. You see these armies arrayed in uniforms, marching out under their she overlord orders to bring order to the chaos that is the solar system. You see this sort of boredom wash over the she as they have overrun and taken control of everything. But then things changed. The clones stopped listening to the commands of their overlords, wreaking havoc and death and vengeance wherever they went, until their lifespans reached the end. You see the final thoughts being those that must have been in the recent days, where they need to come up with a new strain. These originals have long since outlived their usefulness. And you get this strange sensation that the she likes you, that it cares for you all, and has cared for you for many years, almost as if you're a favorite pet.
Bryce just sort of watches and waits to see what the others do and if this thing reacts to them stirring.
Theo's gonna jump on its back and beat the shit out of it. And as he does so, he'll leap up and say, "You gray-skinned bastard!"
As goop and liquid spray on the various organic metal panels, you get these blinding thought symbols that some of you know as she screaming. It's death rattle. And his cybernetic arm is just covered in alien gore.
Fuck you.
Its right arm grasps onto Theo's leg and it's shaking.
I spit on it. Kick it away.
It flops a couple times and reaches up and then falls, lifeless.
Alright. Let's get the fuck out of here. He begins helping everyone else up. Helps up now, helps up everyone else.
The encapsulated walls of she organic material just sort of ripple and move like the waves on a lake. And it seems to be trying to talk to Bryce.
Bryce listens.
I can sense you. You slumber no more.
Yeah. It's time.
Would you want access?
Everything, please.
The material sort of parts and moves outward and sort of rolls back like a scroll, exposing this large chamber that you're in. And you can see hundreds and thousands of similar capsules that are all quivering and moving.
Well then, what's the most efficient exit?
You just see these sort of vague luminescent lights that sort of come out of the flesh. You'll see the various capsules slide away in this giant, cavernous, hollow room. Network just seems to... It's almost like a cavern. It's just enormous. And you just seem like one of many of these strange encapsulated pods. And the lights lead off towards the distant sort of lowering of the cavern as it gets smaller and smaller as if you're traveling into an area that is has a smaller circumference. You hear, or rather see, the thought symbols of she as you walk by these various pods. You can see the outline of various she floating. And you're walking out, I assume.
That's the general plan. If Bryce can access any security measures and cover the group's tracks, he will.
Bryce, where are we? Is it a ship or an asteroid?
What is it, Bryce?
You're back home. This is Ganjan.
Ganjan.
Judging by the atmospheric readings, the positioning.
How long have we been here, Bryce? I feel weak.
Longford, you got gray in your hair.
I'll see if I can get a read.
It's been a very, very long time. And do you think that the only reason you've aged is that the she could not prevent or slow down your aging process any slower, but they did prevent much aging?
Well, Long, how long do you figure it took to get Ganjen terraformed suitably to the she's liking?
Kind of looks up at you with his half cataract eyes. It would take hundreds of years.
Bryce just sort of nods solemnly.
There doesn't seem to be much in the way of programming.
4 o'clock and all's well.
As you walk, you just get the sensation that this voice is the being that you're inside of. And it seems to be letting you out. An opening starts to appear. And you see swirling wind and water. Lots of water. You seem to be on the edge of an ocean. The waves are lapping on the shore. There's thick, storm-like clouds, and it's raining. The air is breathable, but there's something acidic or some strange gas in the air. It almost burns just a little bit as you breathe.
All right, let's close that door, please.
You want to go back in?
Well, I certainly don't want to have my lungs burning. Let's find some clothes and then head out. I mean, I don't mind being naked and all, but kind of shrugs his shoulders. Be nice to have some clothes on.
Bryce nods, shuts the capsule or the door, if he can, and starts searching for any places that might have archived material from older cultures, or well, just trying to figure out what sort of system is in place in this facility, or if it's strictly for making and keeping us.
In the distance, you'll see some chi floating around from capsule to capsule. Their openings just moving open as they get close and sealing off as they go back in. Seems like this is some perhaps scientific research station. But
Right.
close by, you'll see piles of old, rotting clothing, and they're just sort of haphazard by the exit there. You see fingernails and blood stains. Just examples of people resisting. And the clothes themselves are also stained.
Captain?
Yes, Bryce.
I'm sorry, I thought I'd heard you whisper.
I was thinking, is there a way off this place?
I think we'll have to figure that out as a group. the systems, things aren't well marked for you and I.
You'll see Esteban and Sally getting together, putting boots on, and they're all different sizes and shapes. They're throwing clothes to Ying. Kazuko's getting dressed.
Theo goes over and gets dressed as well. Starts tossing in Elle some clothes. Preferably ones that have least amount of stains and blood on them. Oh, jeez. I feel like my back is hurting. Ah.
Bryce is slowly slipping on slacks, looks up at Theo and says, I don't think we've used them for a while.
He kind of looks at a panel and sees a reflection of himself. Well, fuck me, man. Come on.
You'll see Kazuko sort of move over towards the entrance and point. I'm not going back in there. I'd rather burn my lungs than stay in this place one day longer. Then he starts heading out. The entrance opens. He pulls the rags closer to him. You see Esteban and Sally and Ying start to do likewise.
Come on, Anel. Wrap these around your mouth. At least stop the acidity for a little bit.
She pulls the children closer to you both and gets them dressed.
Oh, the kids were there.
Wait, what?
Except they're now teenagers. They look disoriented, sleepy.
Bryce turns to Pawn and makes sure she's okay.
Pawn is just, she has this like lost look on her face. But she's getting dressed as well. She's in her 30s, maybe 40s.
I wonder what we'll find out there.
You see Dax putting things on. Cursing and throwing a boot. And the humidity, the wetness of the outside world is coming in.
All this moisture's gonna make my back creep.
I'll take that any day of the week than stay in this fucking place. Let's get out of here. There's got to be a shuttle port around here somewhere, otherwise got to be transporting them. Let's go take ourselves a vessel.
Bryce sees what he can glean from the computer. Well, I suppose he has to talk to it to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Transit. Import-export systems. Where are they?
I can bring some. There is one waiting.
Manual?
I will have to delete your itemized entry. Or would you prefer us keep them on the registry?
Deletion is acceptable.
You have been deleted, Bryce. Good luck
Thank
with the
you.
rest of your life.
They're letting us go.
What do you mean? They know we're here?
Of course they do.
Just like that? All
They're
these fucking
sending a
years?
vessel to pick us up. And we should have manual control of it.
I don't understand this.
You'll hear this humming sensation as this organic-looking vehicle is awaiting your climbing aboard. A doorway opens up.
This feels way too damn easy.
You'll see Colt look in surprise as he sees the bot from his memories. And the bot's waving. On board. You're not going to just stand out there in the rain all day, are you? I don't have to read this shit, but I know you guys do.
Come with me if you want to live.
Pretty much.
Theo takes Anel and the teenagers and hurries them on board.
Longbear follows, sitting in the circle that would be where a pilot's chair would be, what's not, and then looks at Bryce. I guess you'll have to drive.
Let me know when everyone's on board and ready.
1, 2, 3, 4. How many were us originally?
Oh, hold on. Oh, jeez. My fucking brain's still whacked.
Oh, you're all here. Get on board already.
We're all here, Bryce. We can go.
I'm not sure how the propulsion works, but forward.
You'll see the door shut. Starts moving forward. Where to? Where you guys going? Hey, Veer, you going back to your old homestead? It's been prepared for you.
Homestead?
You know, where you grew up.
I remember.
It's a monument. But you're welcome to live there.
High altitude survey.
The ship will head up into the clouds, and you'll see a world that is almost 90% water. And there are settlements beneath the waves, but they've left a little bit of terra firma there for the few vestiges of humanity that are left in reservations.
So much water.
How long has it been? What? Someone's got a lot of fucking explanation to do.
What is the date?
You'll see the bot's head turn around. 3491, of course.
3491.
Longbeer. Longbeer. Dude.
Is that Earth years?
Yes, I have converted it to Earth years for you. We use the She standard calendar now.
What is your designation?
Whatever you like. They reprogram me with the memories of the false identity of Giant Wraith, Colt. You know, that guy right there. They told me that, well, now that I think about it, well, you know, they're She. They think they know what they're doing. They're not very good at, you know, running things. So, you have some adjustments to do. But, yeah, you have the run of the place. They really don't care what you guys do, you know, you humans.
Where are other settlements? Where are the Quay?
Oh, well, they left. Through the other rift. He points up in the sky. And there's another larger rift there they went back home. She told them of their original settlement before they were taken and enslaved. They were happy to leave. But yep, here's your reservation down there. See, several chains of islands. That's it, man. That's where we're going. To your homestead. They made sure to elevate it above the water surface.
How kind.
Should we take her down, Captain?
We have nowhere else to go for now. Might as well.
We have over 900 years of history to catch up on.
Begin descent.
Oh, you can plug in wherever you want. Information's free. Really, you humans have it quite easy. Here we go. Watch your step out there. It's a little slippery. Just put your old hand on the panel over there. They'll let you right in. And you'll see a bunch of well-dressed, healthy-looking people. Although they have it just seems like they're blended. There's no real racial distinction. They all seem to be similar.
But they're not us.
They're not you. In fact, you can't help but feel that you're somehow an older version of humanity. They're taller, skinnier, better looking. They let you in. And that's probably a good place to break.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And Jason's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was so disoriented. I was like, well, just gonna be quiet because I don't know what the hell's going on.
Sorry, Jason.
No, you're fine. It's just, yeah.
We didn't even use the map.
Yeah, that actually happens a lot when I get a map. It's like, oh yeah, here's something just in case I need it. Oh, we're not gonna use this. Nah.
That's a sandbox for you, right?
Theo just burned it all to cinders.
My bad. That tends to happen when you're put through emotional trauma.
Yes. Well, that was the 29th session. It actually kind of feels like, I don't know, almost the end or the end. I don't know. It went faster than I thought, but I just kind of went with it.
Well, we knew, I mean, we did the old man episode, so we kind of knew that eventually we'd get away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I figured I'd bring back that bit about you guys being research subjects for the she.
We also knew that those old men were recaptured. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Well, who knows what we do from here? Like, it might cause trouble, and they're like, we need to get those dudes.
Oh, that may have been the distant past. The old man episode.
Man, are we heroes now? Are we finally recognized as heroes or something?
Well, you heard that Longview's house is a monument, so. You're humanity's heroes.
Man, Theo's going to be a little upset because he's like, oh, there's no cogs left. This is my life.
They're like factions? What? No, we're just...
Oh, but only a little upset, right?
Only a little bit.
Just a little.
I mean, he's got his wife and kids with him now. Of course, there's like 900 years they've missed out on.
And there are so many questions, like, how is that now?
I imagine she's all right now because she gave him that ornery look, and I was like, okay, cool, things back to.
And you did have that stasis pod you talked about, so maybe she was well preserved enough that she eventually were able to do something.
Well, actually,
the damages.
Well, I didn't even get a chance to carry out the idea, but I was originally going to, like with the nanites, I was going to tell you all that it was a secret alliance between the She and the Cogs, between faceplate in them, and the Earthers. So like the Earthers, the Ganjin, linking up to Shang's father, who has made an alliance between faceplates and Jylin to make these nanites. That's why there's 3 of them.
Nice.
And they're all Shi-based. And the idea was that they were, basing off what Shing was talking about in the last session, that they were controlling people, and that this was like a grand plan of the Shi to not only send the clones out, but to also control the rest of the resistance, and just one fell swoop.
Yeah, sorry you were so disoriented there, Jason. I just it's got to be tough coming into an end of a campaign. I don't think I've ever really done that before.
Oh, it's fine. I just interject when I can, but when it's clear that you guys are referencing things that have gone before, I just kind of stand back and listen and enjoy that aspect of it, because I don't want to take it in a direction that would be, weird or like inappropriate, because that's easy to do.
Heaven forbid it be weird. I mean, that's never happened.
And not in this campaign, or any of my campaigns, really.
One of the first sessions, Tim had us, break out of that room, where we were being held. And then we forgot it after we did everything we did. We were recaptured. So we had to play it that we didn't know about it. But, I mean, as players, we knew that was the situation.
So, yeah, you were wondering if it was all a dream. What it actually was is that the Shi were reliving your lives through you, experimenting with it, modifying things, tampering with memories, meanwhile while you're impaled, on your spines, basically.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was like, is this just another New Realms? What?
Is this real life?
Is this real, or is Tim fucking with us again?
That makes sense. And, so I was just like, okay. Because, I could easily break that continuity by saying something that's, stupid. So I was just like, just going to listen and go with this.
Well, that continuity couldn't be broken. I mean, as it stands, because in character we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, yes.
I had it also planned that I was going to take Anel's implant that controlled her jet fighter. I was going to implant it in him. He was going to take off towards faceplate. I was going to face off with him and kind of take over the cogs. That's what I had in my head. I was like, I'll do that. And the other idea was that I was going to take the nanites, and I was going to use them because I remember that the nanites were keeping us alive from our last experience. So I was going to use those to revive it now. That's what I was going to do with that.
Oh,
I was
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's what happened then.
Yeah, I was just going to revive him like that. I was like, yeah, we'll do that. But then the dreams happened. I was like, what? I like that consciousness sequence. I was a little lost at first. I was like, okay, all right. And then I just jumped right on in. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was like, come on, guys. Come on in. You're like, I don't know if I want to go in that conversation.
That was really awkward at first, but once we got into it, it was like, okay, this is cool, actually. I like this idea. I could totally picture it in my head. It was awesome.
Yeah, Alex and Jason, you guys burst right into that. I was like, holy crap, what's going on?
Kind of had to, did we not?
We just, yeah. You are now linked together. Speak.
Well, I don't know. I feel like 30 is like this cool number, but I don't know. I'm kind of thinking.
I feel like 31 is a better number, mainly because it's a prime number.
I don't want to hear no more about the prime.
I'm trying to think if I want to try to force it, or I don't know. Maybe we're done. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe we'll just start. What do you think, Alex, about any of this stuff? I don't know.
Again, what are numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was again unexpected, which is kind of the theme of this campaign. Just never knowing quite what's next.
Like, did that feel like the end of the campaign to you? Maybe that's a better question.
Oh man, I suppose. It's strange because we have this blank slate again, with so much missing time, and I mean, as mentioned, in the beginning there's emptiness, in the end there's emptiness. Is this not at least as much like a beginning? I don't know. That's strange.
I mean, Long Beer is at retirement age.
Yeah, this is like retirement 1165. That's the sheep plan.
It's like, here's your reservation pod. It's all yours.
That was so weird when they did that. I was like, are you what? Like no like I was like it's confusing and also angering at the same time. It's like you put us through hell, and then you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm glad I beat the shit out of that Chi now, because like it's great. He probably didn't know what was coming to him either. He was like, just gonna let these humans go. What? Oh God!
He's like a tech level 1 like intern. So what do I do? Just unplug these guys? Okay.
And you know what's crazy is he's gonna get regenerated because of his nanites. He's gonna walk back in the room like, damn it, guys! You wouldn't believe the day I just had.
And the rest are just chuckling because they remember their history with the Quay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Poor intern.
It's the worst day at the office.
That was Quay the Bob, or Bob the Quay.
That's really cool that the Quay left too. That another. Oh man, so much history.
Yeah, I figured I'd just throw a big number out there. Like, it's the 2300s. Yeah, 3400. Yeah, that sounds good. 3400.
Yeah, that matches in line with our clone dreams because it was 900 years in the future.
Oh, cool. I knew it was pretty far ahead, so I just kind of took a stab at it.
Gosh, technology must have jumped immensely.
Yeah, the Shi just hang out under the water, and you guys are left to fend for yourselves in the slightly acidic air.
Well, did it have a dirty look to it, or like in my head, I was kind of like imagining this pristine landscape?
Oh, it's pretty. I mean, it's nice. Like I said, they're dressed nicely and given the best in genetic prevention of illnesses. You're probably infested with healthy nanotechnology to keep you alive for a long time.
Absurdly long.
Yeah, probably.
That means like. Bryce has like state-of-the-art mental implants, and Theo has a state-of-the-art arm that is not state-of-the-art anymore. People probably laugh at you. Look at that.
Yeah, like basically, there's all these like I don't know, healthy, advanced people, and you guys are like walking out of the pages of history. Like, wait a minute, that old monument over there that I cleaned, that's you? Wait, you want to live here?
Listen here, Sonny. Back in my day, in the 2300s, we did things differently. We had grab drives and replicators.
So I don't know. What do you think, John? Do you think this was the final session? Did it feel like ending?
I'm okay with ending it there, as I think it actually loops itself around. I mean, I think there was, like, Theo, I'm a massive planner, so I have, every time, like, something happens, I have all these ideas I want to do. And, like, in most games, you never get a chance to, which is why you continue playing games, so that you can try it with a different character. So, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it, and I'm not sure what there is to gain by going on or doing anything differently, besides maybe summing up. Like, I mean, I wouldn't even mind getting together next week and just bullshitting about it or whatever, or talking.
Yeah, I don't know. If you guys want to, maybe we could do a...
Because that way it's open for you. Like, if if the little one comes, then, we're not missing our last game. We're technically just kind of wrapping it up.
Yeah, that's true. How about you, Phil? What do you think? Should we tie it with a bow?
You know what? That seems like an appropriate end. I agree with John. Like we just like in the next technical session, we'll just like wrap up everything and bring closure to certain things. Kind of just wrap up what our characters do after that, how they move on. I had this pictured in my head that there would be like I don't know why, but like this little broadcast, like History Channel style, where they remember certain days of the year.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And like. Now we remember the crew of the Okina Toraburu, and they go on and start listing all the crew members and their exploits. Speculations as to their recent release into the world is left to nothing more but speculation, and it kind of fades to black from there.
They finally let them out.
They released a convicted murderer. Wait, what? Oh, I wasn't. I didn't.
Well, yeah, I feel a little bit bad about Jason. I'm trying to think of like a way I could have brought you in and made you understand things better. But
No,
I hope you had
fine.
some fun while you were here, man.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect anything. I was just expecting to be kind of like a support character. So I'm glad that I got to do more than I've done more than I thought I was going to do this whole time.
That's cool.
But I do want to find out what happened to Loris. Never found and what he was up to in the shuttle.
I always assumed he either died because I interrupted and I was trying to tell Longbeer that we should probably try to get Loris back because he's going to walk on board, he's going to see the clones, he's going to see Theos and stuff, he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then they're going to be like, huh? What are you talking about? He's like, I just came back from the Okina, and it's just going to like be a clusterfuck.
And then the Theos burst into flames. And
Yeah.
the lungs start crackling.
That was awesome. Like when you started saying that, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally doing this. Theo's gonna go batshit crazy and burn everything to the fucking ground. That's like...
I mean, like as I was saying in the comments, I was like, like no less than almost like an hour ago, his wife just died. He was trying to comfort his kids and stuff, listening to what Walton told him, kind of really pissed him off a little bit, but he understands why he says that. And then afterwards, he's got like everyone just doing these apologies and shit, and he's trying to fix things, and then he's got these voices, and he's like, you know what, fuck it. He needed someplace to vent, so he walked out of that room and went a little crazy for a little bit.
You know what I was just thinking there, Phil?
Yeah.
How about one last time you make 10 cents?
Right, hold on. Here's the World of Darkness online dice roller. I just clicked out of it too. I exited out of it. Hold on.
That's fine. I just wanted to hear you say that one more time.
Darkness online dice roller.
And Alex talking about how, hey Alex, you ready to play? Oh, I'm mostly ready.
Mostly. You know how there are some people who don't believe in the no-win scenario? I'm not sure I believe in the absolute win scenario. Yeah.
I looked forward to that comment every single time. I always pictured you like painting and ironing something with your foot and like the dog. You're like, oh yeah, I can multitask. Yeah, sure.
No, it's all about mental and emotional preparedness.
Oh. Well, how about Jason? What have you thought of the whole campaign that you participated in? The couple.
I would be lying if I said I want it to end because I don't. Because it's awesome. I wish this could go on and on and on. I wish, because I just feel like I just barely get a taste of what was going on here, and it's been crazy fun.
So you like the taste? That's good.
It's like you show up at the buffet right before it closes, and you just get a little bit. No, but I'm glad that I even got to experience part of it because it's been awesome. I remember listening to one of the first couple sessions, first one or two. I listened to parts of them. I didn't listen to like all 3 hours, and I was like, this is really cool. I liked the idea of doing all audio. because I used to listen to radio dramas when I was a kid. That was like one of my favorite things, and audiobooks. And so for me, that's a really great space to be in because I don't have to like stare at people's faces, which is fine. It's not like that's all bad because that's how my other campaign is. But it's nice to just be able to recline in my chair here and have it all in my head, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it just seems easier to visualize a lot of things.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's easier, but yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. Like, I guess when you're looking at people's faces, that can. I mean, they both have their, you know, their strengths and weaknesses, but yeah, I definitely like being able to just picture it all in my head and focus on the way I'm doing my voice because I like to do things with my voice, obviously.
Yeah, you do. You do some really cool accents. I'm not very good at accents. Really not.
I wouldn't say I'm good at it either, but I'm equally as good as Brad Pitt, I would say, which is to say not good at all. I was just watching Interview with the Vampire last night, and man, oh man, does his accent come and go. So I don't feel bad that my accent was coming and going.
It's all right. I had a hard time with. I realized in this campaign I really have like one female voice, and that just becomes like my voice sometimes. Oh, it's just like I kept like shaking my head. Like I don't know how to distinguish these voices. They all sound naive. And
I was gonna jump in when you were like, someone can do Theo's kid, but I didn't want to weird you guys out because I can do like kid voices quite well.
You should have done that, man.
Nah, just I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Again, this campaign, it's weird, dude.
Yeah, I had to play a prostitute, so that was.
Yeah, I'm like, hey John, why don't you play this prostitute? He's like,
yeah, there was a lot of laughter.
Sure.
Bastards.
I would have eaten that up.
Yeah.
But
I just don't have a womanly voice. I tried, whatever.
Yes, you have a very manly voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a man's man.
So yeah, if you guys ever resurrect this and you want me to be a part, I would take you up on that.
Well,
It's
I don't
been
know
fun.
what these guys are gonna do in my absence. I have a feeling that I'm on the cusp of not gaming for a while. I've heard from friends that having 2 kids kind of just devours everything, all your free time and all that stuff. And my son's actually been getting harder and harder to be around while I'm trying to do this. Like he's a climber and he breaks things. And my wife will come home. She's like, "Tim, what's this?" And I go over there and like something's destroyed. I'm like, "Oh yeah." Like today, he threw like 5 stuffed animals in the cat water dish. Like they're drying on the counter right now, like by the sink. Like yeah, they're bad. They probably need washed and thrown in the dryer or something. I don't know.
Always amazed and super impressed that you managed to focus the way you do on the games here. Because, I mean, with all that going on in the background, you still always manage to pull us into the world and, like, make it come to life, so.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I did my best.
Yeah. This campaign is is come obviously to an end, but I mean, I would definitely say that the people that, like all of you, Jason, Alex, Tim, even Dave and everyone else who was in the game at all, everyone was of a really good caliber of player that it was easy to bounce stuff off of, and that I think is rare to come up with a large group of people that share it and they want that same experience.
Well, what's nice is that all the YouTube channels. It's real. I mean, honestly, it's very easy if you have any interaction at all with someone. Like, just shoot them an email. Hey, you feel like playing in a game? Like Rick. He was talking about playing in some game sometimes. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Hey, why don't you just jump at the end of my campaign that I'm running right now? I know it's at least going on right now. And he said, yeah, sure. So I feel bad that he missed today, but family.
Too, is like personalities fit, and I think you get a sort of glimpse at people who are on YouTube. When they're willing to put out a video, you you can't really tell exactly who someone is, but you get maybe a slight grasp, or by the comments that they've made on your videos, you're like, all right, well, this is the type of person that, I would probably be friends with anyways, that I can talk to.
Yeah, it's kind of like an interview process or something that it's just you spent hours watching their videos or interacting with them. Like I think 95% of the time I've been right about a person. There's been a few like, whoa, really? You play a lot different than I would have anticipated, but
yeah,
that's kind of cool too sometimes.
Or different than you mentioned. It's
yeah.
Like, wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like I said before, I'm happy and glad that you guys asked me to play or allowed me to play.
Yeah, I remember you were going to be the 6th or 7th person at one point?
Yeah, the alternate. And I got to make it to the end.
You were the captain.
As captain, yeah.
Yeah, as captain. Right. Started out as a slave, prisoner slave, and I'm captain of the accused.
Yeah, you guys have really good chemistry, and that's something I noticed from like the get-go. I'm not like as very experienced. I'm kind of really actually kind of new to role playing, but you guys definitely have the best chemistry of any group I've been in. Like just overall, it's like just there's no pauses, just like bouncing back and forth, and that's amazing. So.
It's
really nicely into that, by the by.
Yeah, you jumped right into the frying pan, man, and you were dancing in the flames, so that was cool.
Right from the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, you were doing pretty damn well. I was like, wow, he's at it.
Thanks. I was embarrassed, especially after my shit role playing of today. I was just like, God, this better not be the last one because this is not my A game. I wasn't feeling myself today. But.
Well, it's all right. I mean, honestly, a lot of times I wasn't, like, I don't know, I've been in a funk lately too, but it's nice that I can put that away and just jump into the game. So.
Well, it's just like every episode, you managed to like one up what we did in the one before, in the terms of just like crazy ass shit that's going on. I was like, how's he going to outdo nanites taking over the entire fucking ship and turning it into a brain web? How's that going to get outdone? And it gets outdone.
Yeah, I had this idea that there was some sort of connection between you and the clones, since you're so similar, like a mental connection that you'd be able to take over the clones. And I kind of thought, maybe you'd go on this like she-smashing crusade or something. But yeah, it turned out totally different than I thought. So that was cool. You guys just had them basically just destroy themselves.
Yep. Flaming suicide.
You know what? I knew the ending was coming. Like Theo had, Phil had, and so I had gone through the Wars books and I was looking. You stopped giving us powers, but the apex power for electricity is basically you turn your body into electricity and you can travel through almost like Electro from Marvel.
Oh wow!
You're actually an electrical form, and you're not physical anymore. You can be electricity. So I was just gonna turn into electricity and kind of just flow off into it, and that's why I started. I think on the New Realm stream, I kept staring at my hand because I knew that image was kind of like just electrons in my brain. So I was trying to get like every time most of the scenes whenever I started, I was always looking at my hand if I had a couple seconds.
Yeah, you did a lot of that. Mm-hmm.
In my head, I was staring at the point where I knew that it's just electricity, and then eventually I was going to let that encompass itself and then become one.
Well, that sort of happened, assuming that was how you survived the overload.
Yes. So I was going to bring that up to Tim, that I was actually going to be like Ghost in the Shell in the Okina.
Oh, there you go.
But
wow, that would be great.
then we had stopped because I thought that would be a cool way to kind of. I didn't show up at the meetings and stuff like that because I am the Okina.
Hey Phil, what did you think about just, I don't know, the whole campaign?
I loved every bit of it. I always looked forward to playing every week. I love the chemistry that we all have. It was a nice back. It's actually quite relieving because all the groups I've played in beforehand never went this well. I'll also say that this is like the most sessions I've ever played in. Like this is actually will be the first campaign I have finished as a player.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that we came to an end because I'm still not sure I'm going to be here next week if you guys just want to have a chat or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And like I don't know. It's so great. I loved every episode. I remember telling people at work about this, but they just give me like blank looks on my face because they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like
the non-RPG stare.
Like at this like today I was like they were asking me, Phil, what'd you do this week? And I was like, my character's wife died. And he's like, what? He goes, yeah, she died. And I cried. And they're like, Phil, what the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, this is what happened. I enjoy that sometimes, seeing the look on their faces, because like they don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody else too. It was like what happened in the campaign, and she's like, "Yeah, that sounds pretty deep," which is code for I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, "Yep." But I don't know. I looked forward to every single week. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing the game. I enjoyed this actually made me really enjoy a pre-made setting in a way, because I didn't really have any previous experience with it, and I really got into it. Like, I really got into it. I started like going on to like the fan sites and looking at stuff, and I was like, oh man, this is pretty awesome. It was like, oh, maybe I should get a Maverick tattoo. Maverick all the way.
You can put a nail in like the dates that she lived on your arm. Have to explain it to some future girlfriend or something. Like, it's just an old chick.
Yeah, it's
Old
just,
chick.
I had a couple kids, like 20. No big deal.
I think we ought to see other people. I was like, what? No, but I loved it. It was great. Always a surprise. No session was ever the same. Some things were a little predictable, but it was only predictable because I was getting into it and trying to get into the head of what everyone was trying to do. And I was pleasantly surprised and always happy about it. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it.
I just know it was nice messing around with player narrative control, because half the time I had to, like, my son was screaming and, or, he had, like, poop all over his legs because his diaper failed, or he, like, broke into the cabinets and it's like, is that flour everywhere? Oh, God, I gotta clean this up. So I'm, like, cleaning up flour while you guys are talking.
Are you on your phone? Or how do you move around while we're doing it?
I'm plugged into my laptop with a headset, and I just...
Headset. Oh, okay. Like a Bluetooth one, or?
It's wires just right in my laptop. So I just carry my laptop all over the place.
Oh, okay.
Carrying my son, and, half the time he doesn't have a diaper on. Trying to change his diaper and get his milk, and, yeah.
So when you go and review at the end, you must actually, like, stop at some parts and listen through them, because you're like, I wasn't here for this part.
Yeah, if I could. The last couple of days, it's been hard to listen to everything again, but, that was part of my prep, is just listen to the last session.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things, is going back and listening to the session. Like, sometimes I fast through some parts. Usually my parts I fast through.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Parts where I got to go to the bathroom or something, and then I, come back and, I'm like, oh, that's why he said that. Damn it, I missed that scene,
Yeah, there's something about listening to your games. It's very informative. It's educational, and I wince and shake my head all the time. Like, they just asked that question for the second time, and somehow I didn't hear it, or... I never got back to that thing that Phil was doing or Jason was doing.
Or you think a response, you're like, I could have said this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not my character.
It's a learning experience. Listening to the games, made me like realize I say and a ton when I'm role playing a game, but I just do that when I'm improving, I think.
I didn't even notice. I think you're fucking fantastic. Like, your timing is like perfect. I don't even like whenever we kind of stall, you just jump in and you have like the perfect like injection of some kind of conflict. And I've never seen anyone with that ability, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I like we talked a little bit about before how I'm kind of an active GM, and like Phil gave me this like huge list of plot ideas. And I had a huge list, and I kept looking at that every week. Like, there's so many things that I want to try to jam into this campaign, and I would try to do it, and sometimes it felt like I was just throwing too much at you guys. So I tried to cut back, and then, okay, things are slowing down a little bit. Let's just let this boil, and all right, here's something else. I try to slow down towards the end. But I think it worked out well.
Yeah, I never understood, because I've never done a long campaign ever. Like, I never understood how people could want to do the same campaign for so long until I, saw how fun this was. Like, I get it now. Like, I get why you guys would do 30 sessions of this, because it's just like a lot. It's like I get done and I'm like, that was so much fun. It's not like, man, that was a drag. It was like, that was really cool. And you just want to do it again, do it all over again.
It's cool to see the characters build upon past experiences and see how they change and what decisions that they make that maybe you wouldn't have thought they were going to make. I don't know, just like all the tragedies that I threw at all the players, like poor Bryce, poor Theo, Longbeard watching all of his crew die from time to time. I have this, I don't know. In hindsight, I just have this thing I've noticed where I throw a lot of horror and tragedy into my games, and that just seems to, like, regardless of genre, I seem to throw that stuff in there. I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad I'm playing with people that think that kind of stuff's funny. Because, like, holy cow, that was terrible. Ha 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 ha. So that's kind of how I am when I'm a player. Like, oh god, that was terrible, and I just start laughing. I don't know. But yeah. So I don't know. Any I guess we could try and bring this to a close. Does anybody? We'll just go down the line here. Do you have any final words of whatever there, Bill?
I got actually, yeah. So we were all talking about what we're going to do after the campaign. I have an idea, because I was wanting to run a few online campaigns myself, and I got two choices, if you all would be willing to. The first one is going to be a sci-fi campaign. It's going to be using the rule set of Alternity, and it's going to be based on a large generation starship, or other places. I can, fill you all in later, but that's like that campaign. And the other one was that D6 campaign that I was putting up as a one-shot. I'm actually running that as an actual ongoing campaign in my live group. But that one's a post-apocalyptic fantasy of sorts. I'm fleshing them both out in my head, so that's a possibility.
Is there a tank involved?
Is there what?
Tank.
Oh, we played a one shot, Jason.
One shot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that one.
Tank
Okay,
with
no.
the elephant with the guns in the mouth.
No, not that type, but it's more of a. Oh, I can't. It's hard to explain. I have to. Well, it's just like just like what I put into the description of it on the one shot on the forum.
That's
But
cool.
it's more of a continuation of it.
I hope that you guys can get together some sort of game in the aftermath of this one closing down. That'd be cool. And maybe you'll get some other YouTubers or other people that can jump into.
Yeah, I've never played the Alternity system, so I would be willing to play that. Or the other one, either one.
I think Jason said, "Oh my god, Alternity." So
And one of my friends in my group wants to run it so bad, and he has like all the books. And so that's why I was like, oh, Alternity.
I mean, I got the books right here across from me, and I've been staring at it and kind of looking at the rules once in a while. I love it.
In the post-apocalyptic, you're going to use D6 system?
Yeah, it's the D6 system. The advantage is that the D6 system is like really rules light and very easy. It's
I used to play Star Wars with the D6. It was nice.
Yeah, it's super easy. But like I have a lot of that world fleshed out and stuff. I've got like monsters and things like that. I love it.
Sounds cool.
But, I mean, I love both of them though.
John, any thoughts? Last words?
Oh, last words. Not every man lived. No. I guess just in case, like, we all work together pretty good, but like we also have 20-something sessions of playing together. So like when you come in, it seems like we're seamless, but you miss the like early where Tim would go, "What do you think?" And we're like, I don't know.
Yeah, especially when I was bouncing that narrative control at you guys. Like they'd ask me a question, and I'd just ping pong it back to them. They're like, "Oh shit, I'm supposed to answer this?" Like.
As long as it was technical, I was fine. But other stuff, I'd be like, I don't know. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun, and yeah, hopefully we can continue the game. I don't see any reason why not. I have all your names and stuff, so.
Yeah, I'd love to see something pop up in my feed like, oh, Alternity Session 1. What? Phil's running something awesome. I wonder who's playing. That'd be neat.
That's my only response.
What's that?
I said I won't be a captain. That's my only response.
Yeah, less responsibility would be good. Huh?
But you're a great captain.
Yeah, you're an awesome captain.
You have a commanding captain voice.
Absolutely.
He's a manly man, that's why.
He was also a kind and gentle-hearted captain. Very low down to earth, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I tried to give him that because of the whole reform implant, which, yeah, Jason didn't get to see that, but I actually enjoyed playing a prisoner. Like that. It's very limited with what I could say.
That's cool.
Like that argument I had with Rohir's character, Colt. Remember he was trying to spy on me?
Yeah, he implanted a bomb in your head and he was going to blow you up.
You know, that old nut show.
How about you, Alex? What'd you think about the, I don't know, just the whole campaign or whatever else you want to say, man?
Oh, yeah, a lot of memories in the campaign at this point. How many hours do we have at this point?
They're 3+ hours each.
We have more than 3 days worth.
Yeah.
Of solid audio.
It's 113 pages of recaps.
Yeah, the recaps is crazy.
Yeah. I just got done copy and pasting them all in like a Word document. I want to turn it into a PDF.
Yeah, you should email it to me.
That'd be neat.
I sort of felt guilty about Bryce's possible suicide taking up like an hour, but
no, man, that was cool. I thought you were gonna do it, dude. I did.
Well, I was,
you know?
And I would have if I hadn't had the interruption that cued him into the thought that there were like an army of she-created alternate hymns out there, so he'll have to kill them first before he can kill himself.
Oh man.
What's that Jet Li movie? I was trying to reference it and I couldn't remember. The One, yeah, The One.
Yeah, I'm a movie file, so
He has to kill all the versions of himself in alternate dimensions or something, and he gets more powerful like the Highlander.
The only one.
And Alex, I just wanted to say that like you didn't have a ton of videos, but I remember that I think Aaron Azurk83 had you in some email list at one point. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. I bet you, yeah, I'll give him a shot. See if you've been awesome, dude. Like playing in the Lamentations game and this game.
Oh well, thanks for inviting me. It's been many experiences, not just a experience. Oh man,
many terrible ones.
Wonderfully terrible though.
It's like, yeah, I felt like, oh, here comes Alex again. He's like a sheep to the slaughter, walking up into my game. Like, so I feel like before my campaign starts, I should just like have like a blanket apology, like I'm sorry what I'm going to do to you, but here we go. So.
My deepest apologies to you and your loved ones.
Yeah, you have to sign this release form, so I felt responsible for the nightmares.
Yeah, if I ever run Lamentations again, I'm gonna like get people to like sign a waiver in blood first or something. Like, yeah, do you really understand how terrible this game is? All right, just so you understand, So.
Having a hankering to play Luther Goldwyn again.
All right, guys, I have to clean up my son's disaster, and it's been a blast running this game for you, and I've had a lot of fun.
Tim, thanks for inviting me. Thanks for hosting this awesome game. Super awesome of you, man.
No problem. It's a good time.
Oh, yeah. Just thank you for everything. I mean, this weekend is Canadian Thanksgiving, so I'll be thinking about this game.
Yeah, think of me and eat lots of food. That sounds good.
There we go.
I'm all about that. All right, guys. I had a blast.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Thanks again, guys.
See you on YouTube and such.
Later.
All right, bye.